Hey guys, I just got a little bit of swag for the Spyder. Let's open this thing up. Alright guys, swag has been installed into the MR2 Spyder. And I thought, as I'm on my way to get some Chick-fil-A, that I would go over 5 things that I hate about the Toyota MR2 Spyder. Alright, so before I start with the 5 things that I hate most about the Toyota MR2 Spyder, let me first and foremost say that I absolutely love this car. But there are some things that I hate, which I will now tell you. The first thing that I will note that I really dislike about the Toyota MR2 Spyder is the lack of power. This is not a fast car, not by any sort of standards. It's a lot of fun to drive. It's very sprightly, and I feel like there's like a ton of fun to be had on curvy roads or whatnot below 40 miles per hour. But the thing about this car is that once you start hitting speed, you kind of feel like that raccoon, like in that GIF where like he puts the sugar cube inside the water and it dissolves. It's like you're having a great time and like you just want to go wide open, and you put your foot on the throttle and the power just completely disappears. Like it's just not there. One thing that would improve this car greatly is more power, which my Veilside build won't address at all. The second thing that I hate most about the Toyota MR2 Spyder is going to be the lack of storage. So a lot of you guys are going to say, like, you have a sports car. If you want storage, you're buying the wrong car. And I get that to a degree. But one thing that you have to realize, even compared to a lot of other sports cars, this car has no storage. So think of cars like the 350Z or the new C8, or even like Lotus Elise. Lotus, a company who's known for being the most unaccommodating passenger vehicle ever, just full driving experience, has twice the amount of storage as this car. There's even a hilarious video with Stradman a couple years ago where he tried to fit what I imagine is his girlfriend or his sister in the trunk of the car to no avail, and there's just absolutely no space. This is my daily driver, and I will say if it wasn't for removing the spare tire in the front and adding that storage rack that I use, I mean, this car would be terrible to daily drive. It would be a lot more of a challenge to do. The next thing I hate about the Spyder, and hate is probably too strong a word because honestly, I'm kind of nitpicking here, is going to be the exhaust note. And a lot of people might think that's harsh because the exhaust note is honestly okay. And okay is kind of like the problem. When I think about the previous cars that I've owned, particularly my 2006 Mustang GT, I mean, that exhaust note was glorious. It was inspiring. Like, driving around the city and, just beaming from ear to ear because that engine, that exhaust just sounded so good. The Spyder's exhaust stock is kind of quiet, and I've always been a bit scared or weary of changing the exhaust note or changing the exhaust, because when you look at a lot of aftermarket exhaust systems, I kind of feel like they sound a bit drony. They just sound a bit loud and unpleasant, and it kind of takes away from the drivability of the car. To the Spyder's credit, driving around with the top down or whatever, it feels just fine. And I feel like if you put the wrong exhaust back there, you're gonna have this drony thing follow you wherever you go. But it kind of makes me wish that the guys over at Toyota made an exhaust system that sounded phenomenal and great and was just right, instead of putting it in my hands to fix it. And this is the thing that terrifies me the most with the build that I have going on, or that I will be partaking in the next few months. That's going to be that I'm going to have to pay someone to custom fabricate an exhaust that fits the Veilside kit. And that's scary because I feel that if that's done wrong or incorrectly, I completely ruin something that speaks to the drivability of this car and that I very much value. That the exhaust isn't something that I think detracts from the car. Also, we're at Chick-fil-A now, waiting to get this bag. And you can tell, I mean, it's about a 10-minute drive from my house, Chick-fil-A. And I'm just struggling to come up with 5 things that I don't like. And I'm going to start digging deep now, digging real deep. Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. You too. Alright, so the 4th thing on the list, I'm going to say that I hate about the Spyder is going to be the interior. So the interior of the car, you can definitely tell it's from the late 90s and early 2000s. It's just very plastic-y, very bulbous. You got that polka dot thing going on. A lot of the times before I bought this car, and I dreamed of purchasing this car, I thought about what am I going to do to bring the interior, into this decade, because the exterior I feel is timeless, but the interior is very dated. And this is why, in my opinion, you see a lot of people, in this community mod the interiors of their cars. I feel like it's very uncommon to see a Spyder that's stock in every single way on the interior, whether it be the seats, the door cards, the buttons, the audio unit. It looks like owners definitely touch the interior because that's its weakest spot. Now, the car that I have, I bought, the owner put in new seats, new door cards, even this carbon fiber overlay, which usually I would find very distasteful, but I feel looks actually pretty good. All right, so we are digging deep here. As I said, I love this car, so it's taken me about 20 minutes to think about things that I dislike. 5 things that I dislike. And number 5 would have to be the lack of cruise control. Now, this will be fixed if you. I think they started offering cruise control in 2003 with the facelift. So if you have a 2003 to 2005 or higher, you're going to be fine. But the lack of cruise control, I have noticed from time to time. I know a lot of you guys are saying, you're going to be like, you don't need cruise control, you have a sports car. But I will say that, you're not always driving on nice, beautiful roads, like, Rock Creek Park in BC or something like that. A lot of times, at least for me, I'm going on road trips, and there's a long period of that monotonous highway driving. And then for those scenarios, it's really nice to have cruise control. And as I said that, I just thought of number 6. But number 6, maybe you could tie into the exhaust bit, and that's the lack of a 6th gear. I will say that whenever you're doing highway driving with this car, I feel that once you hit higher speeds, around 75 to 80 miles per hour, you really start feeling the drone, or you really start hearing the drone from the exhaust system. And you find yourself in a situation where you wish you had another gear so you can kind of defeat or fight back that drone. So those are the 5 things that I hate about the Toyota MR2 Spyder. I will say I have nothing but love for this car, but those are the 5 or 6, depending on how you look at it, nitpicky things about this car that I really dislike. So we've had another video. Thank you guys for watching. I did mention it, doing a Veilside build on my Spyder.